No matter how difficult a task may look, persistence and steady action will get you through. The greatest wealth is to live content with little, for there is never want where the mind is satisfied. Watch a man in times of adversity, to discover what kind of man he is. For then at last, words of truth are drawn from the depths of his heart, and the mask is torn off. Fear was the first thing on earth to create gods. The drops of rain make a hole in the stone, not by violence, but by oft falling. What is food to one man, is bitter poison to others. Life is one long struggle in the dark. There is nothing that exists so great or marvelous, that over time, mankind does not admire it less and less. To fear death then is foolish, since death is the final and complete annihilation of personal identity, the ultimate release from anxiety and pain. And so, through the blank of void, all things must fall at equal speed, though not of equal weight. The atoms in it must be used over and over again. Thus, the death of one thing becomes necessary for the birth of another. To none is life given in freehold, to all on lease. Nothing can be created out of nothing. The first beginnings of things cannot be distinguished by the eye. The body searches for that which has injured the mind with love. It is great wealth to a soul, to live frugally with a contented mind. In the midst of the fountain of wit, there arises something bitter, which stings in the very flowers. Too often in time past, religion has brought forth criminal and shameful actions. How many evils has religion caused? All religions are equally sublime to the ignorant, useful to the politician, and ridiculous to the philosopher. What once sprung from the earth, sinks back into the earth. Air, I should explain, becomes wind when it is agitated. Constant dripping hollows out a stone. It's easier to avoid the snares of love, than to escape once you are in that net whose cords and knots are strong. But even so, enmeshed, entangled, you can still get out, unless, poor fool, you stand in your own way. There can be no center in infinity. Nature repairs one thing from another, and allows nothing to be born without the aid of another's death. All things keep on in everlasting motion, out of the infinite come the particles, speeding above, below, in endless dance. The vivid force of his mind prevailed, and he fared forth far beyond the flaming ramparts of the heavens, and traversed the boundless universe in thought and mind. Thus the sum of things is ever being renewed, and mortals live dependent one upon another. Some nations increase, others diminish, and in a short space the generations of living creatures are changed, and like runners, pass on the torch of life. There is no murky pit of hell waiting anyone. Mind cannot arise alone without body, or apart from sinews and blood. You must admit therefore, that when then body has perished, there is an end also of the spirit diffused through it. It is surely crazy to couple a mortal object with an eternal. Every person tries to flee himself, yet despite ourselves, we remain attached to this self, which we hate. Pleasant it is when over a great sea, the winds trouble the waters, to gaze from shore upon another's tribulation, not because any man's troubles are a delectable joy, but because to perceive from what ills you are free yourself, is pleasant. If the world is the product of nothing but natural forces and natural law, divine intervention is impossible. Violence and injury enclose in their net all that do such things, and generally return upon him who began.